Right, it's The Walking Dead, and this video is going to be top 10 episodes, favourite episodes of The Walking Dead. I have them all here, all done 10. So let's go for number 10, Season 2, Episode 11, Judge, Jury and Executioner. The reason why this got into my top 10 is because Dale, up until his death, he was my favourite character, because he was just so, his accent and everything, he could read guys like Shane so amazingly. I don't know how, but he just could, like, he just knew he killed Otis, and and he saved Andrea from killing herself, which some people can say that he shouldn't have, but he should have, really. So, and that was his death episode, and you're really seeing how persistent he was in this episode, and at the end, because this is his episode, like every single scene with him going up to someone saying, "Don't kill him," don't kill out Randall and everything. So that's why it's in my top 10, because he was. And then at the end, it was sad because he died, and I'm not going to get into spoilers of the comics, but he shouldn't have died. That's what I'm going to say there. But it's because his actor actually wanted to leave, so. Sorry, something just happened, so I had to pause it. But so yeah, I didn't know where I was, but it was about Dale. So yeah, season 2, episode 11 is Judge, Jury, Executioner. It's my number 10 episode, like in my top 10, just right in there. So number 9 now. Season 6, episode 2, JSS. Yeah, it was episode 2. This is the one where Alexandria gets attacked by the wolves, and you see a lot of people who you don't know in it die, just like unnamed extras. They get killed. But this was a good episode for Carol, because she killed loads of the wolves. And it was around this time when Robert Kirkman said that Carol is the safest character in the show. So yeah, that's why it's in my number 9, because it's a good episode for Carol, and it's just action throughout the whole thing, really. I think it does take a bit of a while, doesn't it? So yeah, so that's number 9, JSS. Number 8. And number 8 is season 6, episode 9, No Way Out. This was the one where the walkers attack the Alexandria safe zone. So this is in my top 10 mainly because of the moment where what I like to call the death chain. Sam gets killed, and Jesse gets killed by zombies, and then after that, Ron aims a gun at Carl, and he gets killed by Michonne. And then Carl turns around, and it's out of nowhere. Yeah. In fact, no, I won't show you just in case you didn't want to have it in comics, but yeah, and then you just think, okay, he isn't going to get a shot, like he isn't going to shoot Rick or anyone, because he was killed by Michonne, yeah. But when he gets the sword, he does put his gun on, and it does fire off, like, and he's like, then it's all gone now. But then Carl turns around like a dad, and then falls to the floor with like an eye out. So that's why it's in my number 10, basically because of that scene, and it did have a lot of zombies in it as well, so it probably took a while to make. Yeah, number 7. I think this video is probably going to be a bit longer as well. Oh, by the way, this was yeah, right. This video was requested by Agent Watermelon, our boss, who's a subscriber, and I'm happy that he's giving me a lot of things to do videos on. So yeah, number 7, season 3, episode 4, Killer William. This is in my top 10 because T-Dog first gets killed, so that's a big death, but alone, isn't it? But after he gets killed, Laurie does, which is even bigger. So that's 2 deaths, all fitted into one episode. And then you see Rick, and his reaction is really good acting. So I think those 3 things, T-Dog's death, Laurie's death as well, and then Rick's breakdown, those 3 things, and also Carl having to shoot her, and Maggie having to cut her open for Judith. Those things make this one the best episode. And out of nowhere, at the start, Carl turns, and then loads of zombies are there, aren't they? Like, Jesus Christ. And then everyone has to run off and go inside, and you don't know what's going to happen. So number 6 now, season 1, episode 6, TS19. Tell you why this one's in my top 10, because it's so unique, and I did like our Dr. Jenner in this. He was good, but it's just this one was so good because you see more of how the turn, don't you? Like some actual science to the show, like how did this happen, you know? Like he says about something in the brain, the bit that makes you, what did he say? Makes you or something, makes you, I don't know. But he said that when one part comes back, like in the middle, which is the bit that brings you to life, but I think it's the neo cortex, the bit that makes you normal or psych, that just stays dead. And he said about, you know, because I think someone volunteered to be to have them be like them, what's the word? Or basically them science them, or no, them, because there was a bit, so he volunteered, whoever was the subject volunteered to be, you know, then look at them and look at how it's doing, you know, how he's turning. So anyway, and it got really tense when Dale, when again Dale, you know, noticing the thing, which I don't know how it took him that long to look up there and realise that it's counting down. So again, you know, it's a good bit from Dale, like just something, if he never said what does that do up there, they could have all died, who knows. And then also at the end, Dr. Jenner tells Rick, they're all in. Everyone gets killed. Everyone comes back, even if they've just been shot, or as long as their brain is functionable or something, they're always going to come back to life as a zombie. But you don't actually hear him say that to Rick until season 2, episode 13, when Rick says at the CDC, the man told me that we're all infected. So that one's basically in my top 10 because it's so unique as an episode. Number 5, season 5, episode 1, No Sanctuary. I think this episode was a longer one, like a really long. I think at the end you see Morgan. You see him again, and he's like following the group. So this was in my episode, on my top 10 because it's a huge episode for Carol, and she saves everyone. And at the start, that is the most gruesome scene from whack on the head and then throat slit, and then blood just comes pouring out into the huge tub thing. And Glenn was not even seconds, he was a millisecond away from being hit on the head. So yeah. And in the comics, they were the hunters, Terminus, and they were good in the comics about. I'm not going to get into any spoilers, but yeah, I think this is in my top 10 because it had more things in it, because it was longer, and it was action throughout the whole episode, and it was quite a episode. Number 4, season 6, episode 3, Thank You. Now, this is in my top 10 because there's one scene from this that caused a lot of talk on channels like this for the next few weeks, and it was all about, is Glenn dead or not? And that was really big, because he fell off, and we're thinking, is he dead? And first I think a lot of people, while they're actually watching the scene, you are thinking, yeah, he's dead. Look at the guts and all. But once you go and watch Talking Dead and you think about it, and you go on to, I don't know, Trev Shan, Nicholas could be on top of him, why he could be alive. I think there's talk about it being a whole hallucination from one of them, because he thought that when Nicholas was shot in the head, people thought that it didn't actually happen, because Nicholas' gun clicked before they went onto the dumpster. And then some people did think he could have hid under the dumpster. Also, this scene caused a lot of jokes in the future. I can't, I don't know, I can't explain. But it's everyone thought, nah. But for example, you could say Negan didn't kill Abraham because Abraham hid under the dumpster. All of that. Jokes. I can't go on to Trev Shan, go into the comments, and see things like that. Dumpster jokes. Because Glenn did hide under the dumpster, and it was said before, it was one of the theories about how he's alive. Because when you did see the scene going up, Nicholas getting his guts ripped open. Some people did see Glenn kind of go underneath it, and I did think of that as well. I was thinking, yeah, I think that could happen. I think I did see him go up a little bit. And also, Trevshan, it was spoilt for him, this scene, but it kind of wasn't, because it kind of said, because it was leaked out before the episode that Nicholas shoots himself. They both fall, and Glenn gets his guts ripped open by the walker. So lots of people are thinking, yeah, Glenn's gonna die, but it kind of that wasn't even true. It was a leak that they probably assumed it, but nah, it didn't. That was false, wasn't it? Because at the end you did see because at the end, you know, well, he lived. So yeah, that's number. I got into that quite a lot, didn't I? So yeah, and that's number 4. Number 3, season 5, episode 9. What happened and what's going on? This episode I thought was a nice episode because you see lots of the characters who recently died, like Bob, Beth, the 2 girls, and then the governor. So this is why it's in my top 10 or top 5, because it's such a cool thing, isn't it? Because then on the radio you were like, in the English voice, that's actually the guy who plays Rick, Andrew Lincoln, and kind of a sad episode because it's a big death. I don't think he needed a death this huge, but it was really good because it kind of sad because of Beth and everyone are singing, and seeing all of them there again, even though they aren't actually there. It's just sad, and then you know the song and the desperate for him not to die in it. It's all sad. Number 2, season 4, episode 8. Too Far Gone. Herschel's death in this was huge. I mean, the governor, Rick's speech was just perfect. We're not too far gone, and then the governor's line was perfect. Liar, and chopped off his head and everything. Yeah, I mean, the way he did it was chop. It was so huge. And then after that, the huge fight was really big. Yeah, but anyway, so yeah, I think that was really big scene, and how he tricked them. I think they were actually bad. And then at the end when Mission killed him, and then the other one shot him in the head. You know, that was really big and everything. So the governor died in this one, and Herschel, 2 huge deaths. So yeah, that's why it's in my top 10, because he had a scene in it that was, we're not going to forget. It was a huge scene, and a huge fight. It was Rick's line, and then the governor's line as well. So yeah, that's number 2. Number 1. I'm not going to get too deep in this in depth, because it's being said a lot on this channel. Season 6, episode 16, Last Day on Earth. Some people put it in a top 10 worst. I don't know why, but someone did. But this is a huge episode. I mean, at the end, Negan's scene, it was the best scene in The Walking Dead ever for me. Though you didn't see what God killed, it was still huge, because it was just mad. You know, every word Negan said, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, every word he said was perfect, and it was just amazing. It was amazing. So yeah, that's in my top 10. It's number 1. All because of that last scene, the build up, and Stephen Ogg and Dwight and everyone, it was just so awesome. At the end, it's just the moment when they all realise they're fucked, but then of course only one of them's gonna get killed, and if it was real, then they should. Well, if this is more realistic, he would have killed them all. But of course, this is gonna go on and on. It's not a. It's the It's not gonna end, is it? Only one of them could die, maybe even two. But I mean, the huge slow build up to that ending was awesome throughout the whole episode. And we all knew what was going to happen at the end, and it was just so tense, getting further to the end and everything like that. So yeah, that's why it's in my top 10, number one, because it was such a different sort of episode and such huge at the end as well. Rick just almost crying and everything like that. And then this huge weight is awesome. I actually like it that we don't know who else are killed, but because it gives us something to talk about on this